Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Quick Tips for Entrepreneurs on the Healthtech Podcast. Back with me today, I have Sehaam Cyrene, a leadership coach who's going to give us, I believe, 7 tips for perhaps leadership and entrepreneurs. But Sehaam, why don't you tell us?
For sure. I'm going to run through them quite quickly. All right, the first one obviously is get yourself a coach, a really good coach, and someone who's had business experience, who knows that sometimes there are just tough decisions to be made and there's no perfect or correct answer, but there's just something that you have to live with. So that's super important. The second one is get really good at conversations. However you do that, learn to be present, hold silent spaces for people, listen, ask questions. Don't be too quick to sort of jump in and solve and give the answer. Allow that space for somebody else to speak into it or just think through their thoughts.
Highly recommend starting a podcast for the above, by the way.
And the third one is reflect on what you say and do. You really are responsible for how your message is received. So if you're trying to influence, you want to bring people with you, you want to get people excited, you really need to think about your language. And to do that, you need to understand how they think. Hence the point number 2, which is really listening. Because they're teaching you something, they're telling you how they want to be spoken to or what excites them. So you've got to gather all that evidence and include that in your reflections for how you come back and share stuff with them. All right. Fourth one is don't share all your worries with the team. It can be, it's a tough space to be. There's a lot of decision making, a lot of thoughts, a lot of worries that are going on. And there can be a tendency to feel like you've just got to share that with people because they're really close to you and you're all going through it. But actually, you can create more risk by oversharing certain things. So have your coach, have your mentor, have the people that you trust to go and do that thinking, but don't offload all of your worries onto your team because you're just going to distract them. They're not going to know what to focus on or whether their job is secure. So just, think of that as a risk. My fifth one is every conversation is a negotiation, whether that's for your time, your attention, resources, your energy, your thinking, your sign off on something. So bend a little. And sometimes you need to bend a lot, especially, with the super important people in your life. So that crosses work and your personal life, which is probably taking a hit. My sixth one is, to that point, don't neglect the important people in your life. You're probably deep in the thick of things and got a massive to-do list and are stressed and worried about that. And you've stopped to notice the people around you that are giving you massive leeway and benefit of the doubt and so on. And they are actually, because they're doing that, they're enabling you to crack on and do the work that you're doing. So, take that. Don't abuse that support that they're providing. And my seventh one is being a CEO is a real privilege. And that carries with it a lot of inherent power and influence. And people will do what you say because it's you who said it. So tread carefully because that can give you outcomes that actually are not helpful to you. They're just doing it because, you're the CEO. And equally, if stuff doesn't go to plan, be kind to yourself. You're not perfect, so no one is. But you're in an amazing growth role and opportunity and getting to do exciting things. So appreciate that and just stop and notice it sometimes.